Welcome to PLUTUS IAS. Today I am going to discuss the bordering issues of India with its neighboring country. In the previous video, I have taken the example of China, wherein I have explained why there is a border issue with China. Today I have taken Sri Lanka as a country. Reason being because why recently we have seen there were a lot of issues, contentious issues which have flared up between India and Sri Lanka. In earlier past, what kind of background, what kind of relationship we have shared with Sri Lanka? So overall, we have shared good relationship with Sri Lanka, but in mid, because of the rise of the LTTE group, which has taken place nearly in 1980s, this LTT group has been very detrimental for all the people who have been living over there. So basically, if you want to understand the issue in detail, so Sri Lanka is consisting of three communities majorly. One is Sinhalese, next is Muslims, and Tamilians. So basically, Tamil is quite near to the Sri Lanka, and therefore, the people who have been going from this place to the Sri Lanka are Tamils in majority, and these are minority community in the Sri Lanka. These people have been suppressed a lot, oppressed from a very long period of time, and what has happened in the past is they have taken a refuge in the India, and they were welcomed by the Indian government also at that point of time. And now there are certain issues which are flared up. For example, if I talk about the major issue between them is that a lot of fishermen from India go to the Sri Lanka in order to get more of fishes because their major occupation is fishing only, and they have been using a lot of strategies such as bottom trawling, which is not quite accepted by the Sri Lankan government and the Sri Lankan people, because they said that it kills the coral reef, it affects the marine ecosystem, because bottom trawling is something which directly affects the marine life. And because the concentration of the fishes are not much near the Indian borders, Indian side coastal region, so they have to move to the Sri Lanka, or they have to over pass the Sri Lankan maritime boundary, India and Sri Lanka maritime boundary line, and then they have to go near to that. So in that way, a lot of fishermen's commodities, a lot of fishermen's belongings have been confiscated, and this is not taken in a very good light by India. Now, this is the India-Sri Lankan maritime border. If you can see, it was defined very clearly because there is no land in between. If you can see, there is a very narrow strait only, which you call it as Palk Strait between them. And just to demarcate some area between them, they have defined the India-Sri Lanka maritime boundary. So we take this as a demarcation line. Apart from that, there is another issue which has been flaring up between them, is that the China issue. China has stationed itself, its navy, its troops near the Hambantota port. As we have talked about the debt trap debt trap strategy by China, and Sri Lanka is one of the example wherein it has invested a lot. Now Sri Lanka is not structurally, economically not good, so they couldn't repay the debt, and therefore Hambantota port, in which the China has invested a lot, has been taken up by China. So China basically station itself over here, and then they can oversee, and they exercise the military exercises, etc. over here. So they obviously, because this Indian Ocean is quite important for us, it is strategic location, and we have to oversee what is happening around here. Next is that we have been trading a lot well with Sri Lanka, and we have, in fact, assisted a lot Sri Lanka in the past as well. So in that way, Sri Lanka is an important country for us. And in fact, in the historical period also, if you have seen, a lot of major kings have gone over there. We have traded with them pepper and different kind of commodities, spices. We have shared gold, etc. So there was a trade which was happening in quite abundance with this particular country. But now there are some other geopolitical situations which are arising up over here. In fact, we use Sri Lanka. The Sri Lanka as a, because the port over there, the area over there, the ocean over there is at a quite a depth. So therefore, we use this area in order to station our major ships. So this is what the major issue with Sri Lanka is. Now, if I talk about India-Sri Lanka relationship, so over the period of time, because of the Chinese intrusion, this has Sri Lanka is the Katchatheevu Island. So basically, there is a Katchatheevu Island which is there near to the Sri Lanka only, and it was given by India to Sri Lanka itself when we were defining the India-Sri Lanka maritime boundary. At that point of time only, we defined that this particular area has been given to them. Now the point is, there is an important Saint Anthony Church which is present over there. A lot of Tamilians, they go from every year for the celebration of a festival to this area. But another point of contention is that they are not allowed for the fishing. They're not allowed to do fishing in this area. But yes, they can visit over there for the festival celebration, etc. Apart from that, overall, if we talk about the relation between diplomatic relations of India and Sri Lanka, they are quite well. They have been doing quite well. But again, the point is, the alarming issue is of the Chinese influence. Because if we see Sri Lanka is quite a vulnerable country right now, because it can change the the minds of the Sri Lankan people, government, because they have been funding it, they have been investing in the infrastructure. As you can already see that Hambantota port, they have invested in a lot. So we have to increase the military, we have to increase the troops over in this area, obviously to monitor the movement of the Chinese troop. And apart from that, in the light of these activities which have been done by the Chinese government, we are also trying to build a very major project, which is a Great Nicobar project, which is coming in a Nicobar island of Andaman and Nicobar, which will act as the area wherein our defense troops will be stationed over there, and we can check the activity. It's quite near to the Malacca Strait also. Thank you so much. I'll bring up another issue with another country in the next video.